Beneath the shimmering surface of our planet's oceans lies a world older than the first forest and deeper than the tallest mountain. Pause for more than 70% of Earth is covered by water, yet humanity has explored less than 10% of the life hidden below. This is a realm where sunlight dances, coral cities rise like living fortresses, and millions of species thrive in silence. Just a few meters below the surface, the journey begins. Sunbeams pierce the water, feeding entire ecosystems built around light. Pause 4 seconds. Coral reefs, often called the rainforests of the sea, form the foundation of life in these shallow waters. Each coral colony is not a single being, but a living community. Thousands of tiny organisms building calcium kingdoms over centuries. Pause 5 seconds. Fish of every shape and color weave through the branches like birds in a forest. Schools of damselfish, butterfly fish, and parrotfish move in waves, their scales sparkling like scattered gemstones. Every movement matters. Small fish feed on algae and tiny organisms. Larger hunters patrol the borders. Predators like barracudas and reef sharks maintain balance, ensuring no species overwhelms another. In this underwater society, survival is not chaos. It is choreography. Among the corals, silent drifters roam with grace. Jellyfish, some as small as coins, others trailing tentacles meters long, glide with ghost-like motion. They are older than dinosaurs. Some species has existed for over 500 million years, transparent, glowing, and mysterious. They survive with no brain, no bones, and no voice, yet they dominate vast regions of the ocean. Pause 5 seconds. Below the surface, clouds of plankton drift like underwater dust. Though tiny and often unseen, they produce at least half of the world's oxygen. Pause 4 seconds. Without them, life above the surface would cease to exist. In the calm of these shallows, sea turtles glide past coral walls, rays fan the sandy floors, sea hawkers cling to swaying plants like miniature guardians of the reef. But everything here depends on balance. Waves bring life, currents carry nutrients, and light fueled growth. Pause 4 seconds. This is the most colorful and thriving part of the ocean, but it is only the beginning of the story. Pause, scene shift. As we leave the sunless shallows behind, the colors begin to fade. Pause 3 seconds. Reds disappear first, then oranges and yellows, until only shades of blue and green remain. Pause 4 seconds. This region, known as the Twilight Zone, lies between 30 and 200 meters deep. Pause 3 seconds. Here, sunlight weakens, and with it the rhythm of life changes. Pause 4 seconds. In these dim depths, marine life becomes more elusive. Pause 4 seconds. Built for stealth, speed, and survival. Sleek predators like tuna and mackerel roam in fast-moving schools, slicing through the water with powerful tails. Pause 4 seconds. They are built like living torpedoes, hunting smaller fish that dart and scatter in synchronized motion. Pause 4 seconds. Further in the shadows, sea turtles glide with ancient calm, returning to feeding grounds they've known for decades. Rays drift along sandy slopes like winged shadows, stirring up clouds of silt as they search for hidden crabs and mollusks. Eels peek from crevices, their eyes glowing faintly, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Pause 4 seconds. This mid-level world is also home to silent giants. In the distance, the silhouette of a whale may appear, massive, slow, and purposeful. Humpback whales migrate through these waters in search of krill and plankton, communicating with haunting songs that can travel for hundreds of kilometers. Pause 4 seconds. Each call echoes through the deep, like the voice of the ocean itself. Pause 5 seconds. Surrounding them lies a vast food chain powered by constant motion. Sardines and anchovies gather in dyed swirling balls, forming shimmering walls known as bait schools. Pause 4 seconds. When predators attack, the entire group shifts shape like a living storm. Pause 4 seconds. Dolphins, swordfish, and seabirds join the chase, creating one of the most dramatic feeding events in nature. Pause 4 seconds. But in the quiet spaces between the chaos, fragile structures also endure. Soft coral stretch pale limbs from underwater cliffs, swaying in the currents. Sponges grow like ancient sculptures and filtering water for nutrients. Pause 4 seconds. In these lower light zone, survival depends on adaptation, not beauty. Pause 4 seconds. As we descend further, the world grows quieter, the temperature drops, the pressure rises, and the last traces of sunlight vanish into darkness. Pause 5 seconds. Now we move into the midnight zone where sunlight never reaches. Pause 3 seconds. At depths beyond 200 meters, darkness is absolute. The ocean becomes a world shaped by pressure, silence, and the glow of living light. Pause 4 seconds. Here, strange and beautiful creatures have evolved in complete darkness. Many produce their own illumination through bioluminescence, tiny chemical reactions that create glowing blues, greens, and purples. Pause for a second as small jellyfish drift like floating lanterns, pulsing with light as they move with the current. Pause 3 seconds. Translucent shrimps flicker like sparks in the dark. Deep sea squids flash patterns of light to communicate, confuse predators, or lure prey closer. Pause 4 seconds. Among them lurks one of the ocean's most mysterious hunters, the anglerfish. Pause 3 seconds. With needle-sharp teeth and a glowing lure on its head, it waits motionless in the dark. Pause 3 seconds. When a curious fish approaches the light, believing it to be food, the anglerfish snaps its jaws shut in an instant. Pause 4 seconds. Even deeper, in the abyssal plains, thousands of meters below the surface, the ocean floor stretches like a desert of black silks. Pause 4 seconds. Strange species like sea cucumbers, brittle stars, and giant isopods roam these silent plains, feeding on organic material that drifts down from above like marine snow. Pause 5 seconds. Surrounding them lies a vast food chain powered by constant motion. Sardines and anchovies gather in tight, swirling balls, forming shimmering walls known as bait schools. When predators attack, the entire group shifts shape like a living storm. Dolphins, swordfish, and seabirds join the chase, creating one of the most dramatic feeding events in nature. But in the quiet spaces between the chaos, fragile structures also endure. Soft corals stretch pale limbs from underwater cliffs, swaying in the currents. Sponges grow like ancient sculptures, filtering water for nutrients. In these lower light zones, survival depends on adaptation, not beauty. As we descend further, the world grows quieter. The temperature drops, the pressure rises, and the last traces of sunlight vanish into darkness. Now we move into the midnight zone, where sunlight never reaches. At depths beyond 200 meters, darkness is absolute. The ocean becomes a world shaped by pressure, silence, and the glow of living light. Here, strange and beautiful creatures have evolved in complete darkness. Many produce their own illumination through bioluminescence, tiny chemical reactions that create glowing blues, greens, and purples. Small jellyfish drift like floating lanterns, pulsing with light as they move with the current. Translucent shrimps flicker like sparked in the dark. Deep sea squids flash patterns of light to communicate, confuse predators, or lure prey closer. Among them lurks one of the ocean's most mysterious hunters, the anglerfish. With needle-sharp teeth and a glowing lure on its head, it waits motionless in the dark. When a curious fish approaches the light to believing it to be food, the anglerfish snaps its jaws shut in an instant. Even deeper, in the abyssal plains, thousands of meters below the surface, the ocean floor stretches like a desert of black silt. Strange species like sea cucumbers, brittle stars, and giant isopods roam these silent plains, feeding on organic material that drifts down from above like marine snow. In the distance, volcanic hydrothermal vents create towers of scalding water, rich in minerals. Around these vents, entire ecosystems thrive without sunlight. Giant tube worms, ghostly white crabs, and bacteria that feed on chemicals instead of light prove that life always finds a way. And still, the midnight zone holds secrets. Some creatures here have never been seen alive, only glimpsed through flickering footage, or found washed ashore with eyes too large and bodies too fragile for the surface. Some fish have antifreeze in their blood. Others collapsed if brought too close to air. Their bones, their muscles, their very biology is shaped by pressure and silence. Even sound behaves differently here. Low-frequency calls can travel for hundreds of kilometers. A single whale song can echo across entire ocean basins. And in this stillness, giants roam. Sperm whales dive to hunt colossal squid. Their battles, unseen by human eyes, leave scars on their skin and legends in our imagination. Their hearts beat slowly, their lungs collapse under pressure, and still, they descend over 1,000 meters in a single breath. But even here in this alien world, human impact reaches. Plastic particles drift down like toxic snow. Ghost nets sink and trap unseen life. Mining machines scrape the seabed, disrupting habitats that took millions of years to form. The ocean's most vulnerable creatures have no voice, and yet, everything we do on the surface eventually reaches them, from our weight to our laws to our silence. The Midnight Zone is not empty. It is waiting to be understood, to be respected, to be protected.